10.0.1, new zone revealed. Doron has a video about it. We want to check it out. And
As
here
you
he
may
is.
already know, we have discovered the narrative campaign for 10.1 called the Embers of Neltharion. This has been
Yes.
data mined. However, that is only the beginning of the new information. Most recently, in 10.0.7, we are learning a ton of new stuff about the Dracthyr, the Black Dragonflight, Neltharion, and most importantly, a possible new upcoming zone called ABERRUS. We have information on how the Dracthyr were created, how Neltharion had treated them, some rebellions between the Black Dragons that Neltharion had suppressed, and now, importantly than ever, there is also this zone called ABERRUS, which could either be
I didn't
a
hear
random
about
zone,
this
a
yet.
subzone, or a part of 10.1 content. So, what is
Interesting.
all this brand new 10.0.7 information, and let us cover every single hint that we currently have at this point in time. It's been a while that Ridge, the sponsor of this video, sent me this wallet, and
Ridge wallet.
It's been nearly 3 years that I've been
My
using
God.
it, and it's really great. You can put cash, you can put up to 12 cards, there's so many designs you can choose from, it's just amazing. Recently, they also sent me the key cases, which matches with the wallet perfectly. Now,
Man, I feel like
if
Ridge
you use
Wallet
my code
has been
Doron, you
sponsoring
get a
this man
great
for years
discount,
now.
So make sure to check out my link in the description and get the Ridge wallet and the key case. We still don't know the exact date, but based on the roadmap for Dragonflight for 2023, I'm guessing 10.1 is going to come out somewhere around May, which really is just around the corner.
We actually saw some hints that 10.1 would be coming out like around Easter, supposedly, because there were like Easter content in the patch notes.
Now, we have been getting a ton of hints even months before actual Dragonflight release, and at the moment we could pretty much make an entire compilation of all the various bits and pieces we had received for the first patch, but most recently, as 10.0.7 is unraveling, we are discovering a lot of new things. We have some new documents, new information about the Dracthyr, new Black Dragons, one called Adamantia, and more insight into what Neltharion was doing as we dig deep into his lab, his vaults, his libraries within Forbidden Reach. So as you may have heard recently, we discovered that the main narrative campaign of 10.1 is going to be called Embers of Neltharion, which obviously means that his story will be heavily involved in the first major patch of Dragonflight.
Right after this, I'm
either
gonna go open my vault.
indirectly, but it will definitely be unraveling what was going through his mind.
Yo, Mythic Vault of the Incarnates, we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to do it tomorrow because people want to do a full day of Heroic.
Then we have
So
the
we're
old
gonna do Heroic
information
today,
that
and then we're
been
gonna do
confirmed
Mythic
multiple
tomorrow.
times, and that is that 10.1 is going to be underground related. At this point in time, we still don't really know up to what extent. Then we have at this point ancient hints, and that is in regards to these Kazlagar dwarves, some Titanforged rebels related to Valorant, which could be happening soon, or it could be a whole new patch, another expansion. We really just don't know at this point in time. After that, we have a whole story about the Jaladin and how they apparently had these
we
four
talked
super
about
powerful
these.
elemental elders that battled Neltharion and his Black Dragons that had to retreat somewhere underground, and they are searching for them right now, the Jaladin, meaning they're going to be relevant super soon.
A lot of underground hints and shit, which makes sense because you know, you got Deathwing, Neltharion, who is the underground dragon, right? He is the dragon of the earth and shit. He was the warden of the earth, so he was in there. When I say earth, I mean Azeroth, the planet. He was always underground. You know, that's his place. So we probably will end up going underground at some point.
Jaladin made a pact with Iridikron, the Primal Incarnate.
By the way, Iridikron is the Primal Incarnate's equivalent to what you know, Neltharion is, Deathwing, in essence. He is the Earth version.
And
of
we
the
know
Primal
that
Incarnate.
we will be searching for Iridikron somewhere underground also quite soon. Most of this is old information by this point in time, but at the moment
will be the main
we
bad
have
guy,
a lot of new hints. So we're going into Forbidden Reach in 10.0.7, the in-between patch, and we're kind of going into Neltharion's secret laboratory. We are discovering his libraries where we learned crazy new hints in regards to Titan and Old God propaganda, the possibility of a new hidden continent, what Azeroth really is, a possible fifth Old God, and a bunch of
Lots
info
of
that
lore
you can really
reveals.
check out in detail in some of my previous videos. I made a bunch of them. Furthermore, even before this mini patch, we had discovered Azerite, the blood of the actual World Soul of Azeroth, in some of these vaults, which does raise a pretty interesting question. How did Neltharion get his hands on Azerite, and why
sucking at the teat of Azeroth,
even
that's
in
how.
Forbidden Reach? Is this some super relevant zone
Sitting
where
inside.
the blood of Azeroth comes out? However, now the story further unravels. So we discovered this journal from some sort of a pirate commander, a sailor, that apparently he discovered Pandaria before we did, back in midst of Pandaria, before the Alliance and the Horde, and he traded there, and he was also on quite a few super dangerous missions. He is praised to be one of the most capable sailors on Azeroth, and he apparently went
Man discovered an entire island and saved it for himself so he could just trade there.
rest of
Sounds
Kalimdor
about
and
right.
kind of got lost, but there are now hints of his return. At the moment, this information is super scarce.
Smart,
but this
yeah,
might be
totally.
a huge
I agree.
hint about that hidden other
Why
side
tell
of
everyone else
Azeroth
just
that
get
Blizzard
rich?
recently started talking about, and this really could be the initial setup either for a patch or for the future expansion. Now, even more interestingly, we are really digging deep into the Dracthyr origin, and we are not
I agree,
only
Deadrick.
learning
They
about
did do
them,
King
but we're
Rastakhan
learning
wrong.
about Neltharion, new dragons, and the black dragonflight in general. So we already know Neltharion was using old god magics. This is old information. He was reading old god books and really putting on that tinfoil hat, not believing the Titans. However, he also created his private army for a purpose that we don't really know anything about yet, and from what we're reading from 10.0.7 journals, he has not exactly been treating the Dracthyr nicely. Like, even the word nicely is stupid.
You know what kind of realization I just came to with Neltharion? Does he kind of remind you of Anakin Skywalker? Where, like, he was going through a whole midlife crisis where he's like, you know, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Where Neltharion was saying, from my point of view, the Titans are evil. Yeah, and, I do not fear the void as you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, he kind of had those moments where he was delving into darker powers because the light side or the Titan side was kind of, he found out they were telling a lot of lies. They weren't as righteous as they came off. And that kind of led him into his corruption.
Because he has just
Big
been
brain
a
moment on my part, I know,
tyrant.
I know.
So we have actual Dracthyr
Lawyer
journals
moment,
where
yeah.
they say that their entire life is just eat,
Who has the
sleep,
high ground?
wake, and train. They are 100%
Whoever doesn't have the low ground
pretty
has the
much
high
nothing
ground.
else. They
There
have
you go.
these natural desires to do other stuff, but Neltharion doesn't allow them anything, like not even a single thing. He seems to really not like them having anything resembling free will, and he does seem to be treating them as just slaves. Based on what we're reading, he has been super harsh to
You're
the
dying
Dracthyr.
right
Now,
now.
we can discover yet another document that is similar to the Ottoman ones, as this isn't a journal, but it is a correspondence between Neltharion and some sort of a black dragon, Adamantia, that I'm guessing is going to be super relevant quite
Interesting.
soon. She seems to have been kind of a friend of the Dracthyr. She was sympathetic to them and tried to free them, but Deathwing really didn't like that. The Dracthyr
There's
say
that
they
lawyer
hardly
brain for
remember
sure.
Adamantia, only her fragments, and we can kind of read the conversation. But before the conversation, first we have the actual journal of Adamantia that we can read, and we can
Right.
also see Neltharion's reaction. So Adamantia says that she failed yet again, and that 101 Dracthyr were released from stasis, yet in each experiment they regained memory but retained none of their former mental conditioning. What was done cannot be undone. She also talks about how the Black Dragons were born to not let anyone know about the Dracthyr, so it is a super
Stay
secret
in
project,
hiding.
not even the other aspects, and that
We
this
have a
reach
realm to destroy.
The wild card. Thank you for the follow and welcome to our Scourge.
must be forbidden, and anyone that trespasses will be considered an enemy. So obviously
101
they have been
Dalmatians.
doing something they shouldn't have because they have been
Achievement.
super secretive about it. Now, in my opinion, I think this might be after Neltharion had put them into stasis, so after the battle with Razaget, and she tried
Yeah, I
to
think it
free
would've been
them. This
after.
even makes more sense as we have more pages. Now, interesting enough, we actually discover Adamantia in this frozen, crystallized state, and the correspondence she has with Neltharion kind of explains why, as Deathwing says. This is your final warning, Adamantia. If you continue in your defiance, you will become an example to all who foolishly
Oh, shit.
entertain such asinine aspirations.
not playing.
Your suffering will span millennia. Even death will not release you. Any who look
Damn.
upon you will gaze upon your torment and despair. Seize this folly, or retribution awaits you. Now,
Oh,
seeing
shit.
that we find her frozen, I'm guessing Retribution did actually await her, and he was really not playing around. Like, you don't want to mess around with Deathwing. Subsequently, we have possibly the most interesting information. So, the correspondence continues between Lotarian and Adamantia, and we learn that her mission was to extract the black dragonflight essence from the Dracthyr, which
Yes.
explains actually why
We learned about this. We talked about this, and this is the reason why Dracthyr don't have a melee or tanking class. Because there are some... So the Black Dragon abilities were basically extracted from the Dracthyr. Because it was seen as maybe, you know, it gave them could corrupt them and all that shit, whatever. But if you look at the Dracthyr, the Black Dragonflight abilities they still have are very tanking focused. They're like damage mitigation abilities and aggro abilities and stuff like that. Those are Black Dragonflight related. So it's believed now that their tanking ability was taken away from them because their tanking ability would have been through their Black Dragonflight abilities. which
Why
were
they lack Black Dragonflight
taken
use
away.
and magics, despite the Dracthyr essentially being Black Dragons as they were created
Setting us up
by
to unlock
Black Dragons.
specs.
And
Yep,
says that
maybe.
the extraction has gone smoothly, but she worries it will impact their abilities. She also apparently worked with Malygos to seal their prisons, which really is all the information at this point. We know Malygos learned about the Dracthyr and really was the main one that got Neltharion to imprison them. However, Adamantia then says that she got the order to bring those Dracthyr she awakened to ABERRUS for an experiment, and she really does not like this order. She says these guys are not robots and have free will and independent thought, and instead of treating them as slaves, she wants Neltharion to earn the trust of the Dracthyr.
You ever played with a Dracthyr player? Do they really have free will and stuff? I don't know.
You can kind of guess how that ended as we read Neltharion's message and we can see Adamantia frozen. This means that ABERRUS is some sort of a zone where the Dracthyr had been experimented upon. While it could definitely be a whole underground zone, like this could be the entire location, based on the current information, it is likely that this might be a dungeon or a raid or a section of a certain vault or a zone. Probably some sort of a super secret vault that will hold most crucial information that we will learn about the Dracthyr. It is really hard at this point in time to connect how this could actually be related to the elementals, the Jardine Elders or whatnot, as we really do have limited information. However, based on what we currently know, even 10.0.7 is actually going to reveal some brand new Dracthyr stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to the starting zone in 10.0.7 for the Dracthyr. We're going to get a ton of Dracthyr lore in that patch.
And it will set up the main story, while 10.1 is probably going to be when we're going to learn what Neltharion has really been doing. Furthermore, this might actually just be the setup for the Dracthyr to get new classes, as once they learn they have been slaves of Neltharion and their free will was suppressed to the absolute max, and they were forced to be evokers, they might start exercising their independence and realize that some of them might not actually want to be evokers. So, in my opinion, it definitely seems highly...
I'm telling you, I think the Dracthyr are going to get another spec. They will get another spec. I don't know if they're going to be able to be other classes. You know, you could tie that into the lore and say, oh, well, now they're interacting with the races of Azeroth, so now they can be other classes. They've learned how to be a rogue or a warlock, whatever. But I think certainly the more likely scenario is that another spec unlocks for them. So they get like a tanking class or the tanking spec or something.
Likely that the Dracthyr are going to get new classes.
Mages,
quite
yeah, I
soon.
mean mages.
I'm guessing ABERRUS is going to be related to them, but most importantly, this is probably going to be
literally being a mage. You learn how to be a mage. Like it's just a study. You're not born being a mage. You just learn how to do it.
But as we start unraveling how Neltharion really turned into Deathwing, because I really don't feel that we're just going to learn about his character, but we will discover a lot more about Azeroth, the old gods, the titans, and a whole bunch of new information as we learn what Neltharion has been doing.
Demon Hunters are always mad.
Thank you for watching. Check out Could the Bronze Dragons Be Evil by clicking on the screen, and check out the Nuts Academy for videos
there it
of
is.
World
That's
history.
pretty good.
See you next time.
Pretty good video. I think we're going to get some lore coming up real soon in terms of like what's going to happen, what happened with the Dracthyr, what happened with Deathwing, all that shit. You know what else we're going to talk about today? A little bit of raiding. It's time to get into it. I'm going to post up Q. I'm going to open up my vault, and we're going to start Heroic Raid. So pull up your pants, or should I say pull down your pants?